What do all these anime have in common? China. Now, this isn't some Chinese propaganda, but they are on a legendary run of anime releases. Lord of Mysteries in 8.6, To Be Hero X in 8.6, Scissor 7 in 8.4, Link Click in 8.7, Fog Hill the 5 Elements in 8.3. We joke around about China taking over anime, but with each release getting more recognition than the last, that joke's becoming a reality. And then there's the newest release that just came out, The Fated Magical Princess Who Made Me a Princess. I mean, the title sucks ass, but the show slaps. Follow a woman who's woken up as a newborn, Athanasia, maybe? Or Anthony for short, from a novel who's doomed to never be loved by her father, the Emperor, and eventually executed, so she must rewrite her new fate with her wits and knowledge of the future. Except for the part where they reincarnation and execution, yeah, I don't know. If you actually watched the first 4 episodes, it seems like her mother, as she's dying, cast a spell on the child so she can see her own future, and then she was exiled, not executed, to a tower by her father, where she assumedly committed jump from rooftop. So I don't know where Crunchyroll got this information from. They either made it up or it's a really big spoiler. Either way, Crunchyroll, you suck eggs with your butt. Yes, I'm salty about your Dookie subtitles, but I regress. In this life, she's planning on avoiding her father and saving money to leave until a fateful encounter brings them together sooner than expected, and he takes an unusual interest in her, changing their relationship completely from her past life. She went from an unloved, unwanted daughter begging for attention that was replaced to being forced to spending time with her father because he's taken a liking to her despite her actively making plans to run away. And with this new relationship, a ripple effect was sent through fate itself that was noticed by those who wield extraordinary power. That's it. There's nothing really special about it. There's big talk about fate and whatnot, but really it's just a wholesome father-daughter period piece. In fact, if you're ever on webtoons, period piece is about being reincarnated into a novel where you're the villainess and die, or you go back in time after your husband killed you, or your family never loved you and sold you off, then die, or a dime a dozen. That's Webtoon's version of isekai. The app is littered with them, and the anime gives you the exact same feeling as Spy Family or Buddy Daddies. I haven't seen anything insanely unique about it. It's just entertaining and well made. That being said, mark my words, we're entering a new era of anime. This anime, along with the others I've mentioned earlier, are blazing the trail, and we are entering the era of Chinese anime. And if you just stopped to correct me on anime versus donghua, there's a place for you all the way down here in the 9th circle of hell, where you will spend all of eternity alone in a black abyss. So you better get used to that, because that's what your love life's going to look like also if you keep acting that way. Where was I? If you don't believe me, just look at video games. We're devouring everything they're throwing at us. It started out with gacha games like Genshin and Honkai, and then AAA titles like Black Myth Wukong and Falling Feathers setting unreal sales numbers, and now even live service games like Marvel Rivals are taking over everything. I mean, we are actively slamming our credit cards on the table for these bathing suit skins, and now we are in the equivalent of the gaming's Genshin era, where they have just sunk their teeth into the industry and now are starting to take ground, which isn't bad. In fact, it's a good thing. If there's one thing companies hate, it's losing money, and if these Chinese anime start taking up market share, it could very well make everyone else step up their game. That's what Marvel Rivals did with Overwatch, and now many say Overwatch is in its best place in years. And if you look at the Japanese anime, there's a lot of slop being thrown around that we are just licking up off of the floor because we are depraved of quality content outside of the big hitters who get all of the love.
同じやつと思わなかった。
まあ、5年で髪が伸びて印象変わったかもな。
髪より？いや、なんでもない。
This is what we're dealing with, guys. Just look at the period pieces that Japanese studios have put out, like Raeliana. It's still, there's not much attention to the background detail. The art's kind of flat, almost lifeless. I mean, just watch this. Don't you feel moved? I mean, this swan has more detail than Raeliana. From the opening scene, we are greeted with more animation than most of Raeliana. There's attention all the way down to this quiet and subtle little sound of this random high five in the background. And most importantly, it feels full of life as Anthe runs through the royal garden. The colors pop, just making it fun to look at, and the highlights and shadows give it depth. I don't feel like I'm looking at a moving picture. The characters feel personable, whether it's anger or overwhelming cuteness, aggression, and the animation feels alive. There's just so much care for this Korean web novel, which do get animes but are notoriously bad adaptations, with soul leveling being the exception. A Returner's magic? Slammed. Raeliana? Dunked on. Noblesse? Decapitated and put their head on a stake. Tower of God Season 2? I can't even say, but it sure as hell violated the Geneva Conventions. Even Blue Lock, an anime that represented their country on the biggest stage in the world, wasn't safe from being violated. Not a single one of these anime couldn't have been just as good, if not leagues better than The Fated Princess, with some love and care given to them. Instead, they pump out anime at the rate Americans shove food down our throats with no regard to the outcome, because all they see are dollar signs, and this causes / is because of the poor working conditions of the animators, but that's a whole other topic that we're just not getting into right now. But with Chinese anime dipping their toes in more and more, I say we're probably going to see a big change going down in the anime sphere in the next 3 to 5 years. And it may seem like I'm overreacting about some pretty looking, slightly above average slice of life comedy anime, but it's so significant because Chinese studios are stepping into all facets of anime now. It used to be just Chinese culture related, like Fog Hill, The Five Elements. Then it was spreading further out into comedy with Scissor 7, and the first real mainstream Chinese anime for most because it got onto Netflix. Then it started going above and beyond with completely unique and experimental storytelling ideas, like a power system essentially based on greed and how willing you are to sell your soul for it, and voting on hero rankings IRL for To Be Hero X. Then creating unprecedented animation in Lord of Mysteries, animating 30,000 frames per episode. For reference, the Sung Jin Woo vs. Burrow fight was 16,000. And now they are casually taking on slice of life anime. They aren't going for revolutionary or groundbreaking anymore. They feel comfortable with the foothold that they can give us ordinary and comfy, like they don't have to prove anything now because we know it's good. They don't need to rely on shock value headlines for their audience anymore. You don't have to have anything complex. Sometimes it just needs to be entertaining and well made. And that vision's been corrupted by greed. So emerging talents, stories, and shows are beginning to rival previous kings, and when businesses compete, customers thrive. We can see the re-emergence of some of the greatest seasons of anime. Winter 2022, Attack on Titan's plot twist went down, Roof Piece and the Entertainment District all aired at the same time. Fall 2006, Code Geass, Death Note, and Gear 2 all went down at the same time. Do I need to say anything else about the classics? Fall 2022, Bleach returned after 10 years, Mob Psycho's final season aired, Chainsaw Man's pop culture takeover, The Eminence in Shadow wrote its name down in the Hall of Great Isekais, My Hero started its war arc, Blue Lock redefined what sports anime could be, and Anya. God, I love Anya, she's so funny. This is what anime can be, redefining what intensity and drive is, plot twists that generations of fans can share together, experiencing culture shift in real time as big titles release, having a laugh as some child princess assists a robber robbing her own castle so she can essentially embezzle funds, or a heartwarming, wholesome feel when a father and daughter bond over having tea together, going on boat rides, or taking naps together while grieving the loss of their absurdly hot mom. Like, I'm grieving with you guys. And I'm not saying that every anime out of China is a banger, far from it actually, but the fact that more and more are blowing up and reaching wider audiences is proof enough that viewers can feel the effort put behind something, and if that effort is just a rush project created by people literally trapped behind their desks sweating away just to finish something on time and not to create something, it's going to be abundantly clear in the final result. So long story short, The Fated Princess is fun. You should check it out, and China's on a roll. I'm back for good this time, guys. It's been a while. I hope you enjoyed the video. We tried some things out elsewhere, hoping to incorporate that stuff here now, get a little more interactive with you guys. So subscribe to get in on that action and also see the next video, and I'll catch you guys later.